Today, we are joined by Rick Von File. Rick Von File is running for City Council at Large District. So, getting to know a little bit about you. File, it's an old Taylor name.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about, did you grow up here? Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, sure. So I'm fifth generation
Wow.
Taylorite. Yeah. So our family has had various businesses, commercial real estate, residential real estate, going all the way back to the 1800s. And so, yeah, I grew up here. Went to Memorial Baptist and also St. Mary's. So I went to school at St. Mary's. Then from there, graduated from Taylor High here, and then took it on the road to Baylor. Got a degree there at Baylor in finance. I was kind of struggling when I was there what I wanted to do, because I knew that I wanted to do business, but there was also something kind of pulling me over to the Tidwell Bible Building, which so I kind of thought about going to seminary for a little while, and I kind of basically just made a compromise with myself. So okay, I'm going to major in business, I'm going to stick to finance over here, but then I'm going to minor in religion.
Oh, wow.
And so that was kind of how I did that. And so
Did you end up minoring in religion?
yeah, I did.
Awesome. I didn't know that about you. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so studied, Old Testament history, New Testament history, Christian theology, Christian philosophy, Christian apologetics. So, which, by the way, does not mean that you're apologizing for Christianity. Google it. It's actually a real field.
Right. I could see how someone would think that. Apologetics.
Yeah.
What is?
Yeah. So, and then from there, I went back to Baylor to get an MBA. Again, with a concentration in finance. And towards the end of that program, the dean of the finance department had called me to his office. And anyway, he said that they had an opening in the finance department for a professor job of corporate finance, and wanted to know if I'd be interested in it. So I interviewed for that job. It was a professor of corporate finance, and then they also wanted to see if you were interested in going to the PhD program. So I did that job as a professor, and to this day, still my absolute all-time favorite job.
Yeah.
Had so much fun with that. I loved teaching the subject matter. The students loved my classes. They were trying to sign up for it in the next semester. Just kind of word of mouth got around. But I decided not to go into the PhD program because that's another 4 years. And so, the corporate world was ringing the phone, was calling, wanting me to come. So I went to Dallas and began my 25-year career in corporate finance, mostly. Things like budgeting and profitability analysis, return on investment calculations, cost benefit analysis, things like that.
Okay. For businesses. And this 25-year career, I was researching a little bit about you. It took you all over the place, right?
Yeah, I did. So I started out in Dallas, and there's a lot of corporate headquarters in Dallas, so that was pretty easy to find work there. And then went to Seattle, and in Seattle, I mostly kind of fit into the role of a consultant.
Okay.
So that's how. So when I was there, I was able to work at Microsoft and T-Mobile, ThyssenKrupp Aerospace, Alaska Airlines, Starbucks, an import-export company, and then I did a lot of work with in a field called venture capital.
Okay.
And so as an angel investor, you invest into small tech startups. Actually, it can be a startup of any kind, but in Seattle, they're mostly tech startups.
What, after being here for 3 years, is making you say, okay, I want to run for city council?
Well, the initial idea for it kept coming from people around town that on kind of both sides of the political spectrum. Conservatives and liberals kept asking me to consider running. They were encouraging me to run. And, as I've kind of noticed that we have a little bit of a culture war here. And, there's one thing that I'm good with negotiations and mediation. Politically, I'm moderate, so I can visit with and reason with and talk with conservatives, and I can visit with and reason with liberals, and I'm good on both sides. So the more that I started thinking about that, and the current political and cultural situation that we're in Taylor, and the fact that this is an at-large, so it represents the entire city.
Right.
When I was in Dallas, people had talked to me about running for Congress there, and I was like, I'm not I'm corporate finance. I'm working it. That's what I do.
Right.
And so, just the more that I thought about it, talked to my wife about it, and so she was heck no at first, and for quite a while, and then she kind of kept hearing the same things and realizing that, that maybe there is something to that. Maybe there is a role in something that Rick can do.
Okay. Well, nice. And you said these people kept reaching out to you. Did they all reach out to you because you were centrist, or?
No, they didn't know that at the time.
Okay.
I think that just because of kind of their own personal biases, that maybe they kind of thought I was more conservative or more liberal. And,
right.
And just knowing some of the things that in our conversations that appealed to them, that they were encouraging me to run. So.
Awesome. Well, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. And like I said before, people lose it gets lost in translation, right? That you're running to serve the community. So as a member of the community, I thank you for trying to serve it.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir.